Thank you so much for coming. I know there's people online as well. We are so excited to bring this training. It's the first in a series of trainings we're going to be doing every month for the rest of the year to bring guidance, training, support to our agents, to outside agents on Stratus and Realm and tech and all the different things that we know you guys have been asking about and need support on, and just to make sure you have what you need to push through this year. So I get the luxury of introducing the owner of our brokerage, Colin Campbell, who is going to be saying a few words as well. So I'm going to throw it to him in a minute. But before I do that, as part of a thank you for you guys for showing up in person and online as well, the coaching team has come together to offer a free 20 to 30 minute business review with you. So if you want to go to businesscheckup.ca, you can just sign up there. Let us know that you're interested. One of the coaches is going to reach out to you, and we're going to sit with you, whether it's on Zoom if you need to or in person. We're going to review your business, and we're going to help you put together an action plan to take your business to the next level this year. So thank you so much for being here. We love seeing a full room, and I'm going to pass it to Colin.
Thank you, Jen. Good day, everyone. Thank you, Jen. Everyone, thank you so much for being here. Some of you we know already are KWRC Realtor partners. We know we have some guests and visitors in the room. Welcome. It's just an honor and a privilege to have you here. The goal of today's session is so that we can share as much knowledge and information with you so that you can implement this into your business and your business will thrive in 2023. So the goal, it was structured in a way where it's enjoyable, it's fun, it's informational as well. So I'm really excited about it. Gary and I, we've spoken about this many times. So I'm really excited for what is in store. And please, if there's anything, we as a leadership team can do to support you in your business, please reach out to any one of the leaders that are represented at the front of this room today. Thank you very much. Have a fantastic day.
A little bit of an introduction train going on here. So I have the pleasure to introduce Gary, who's actually going to be hosting the event today. Let me tell you about Gary.
Oh, this will be good.
One thing about Gary is that whenever it comes to anything like software, tech-based, that's kind of introduced to the industry, you never look at it with like a burden of like a new thing that you have to learn. Like Gary always looks at it like comes from curiosity, and he always asks like, how can this improve what I'm doing? Is this better than what I'm already using, right? And that's why he does so well and has so much success with that kind of stuff. If any of you guys follow Gary or see him on YouTube or whatever, like he's all over it. He's definitely the tech guy. And that's what all you guys are doing by being in the room today. Like early adapter, we know Stratus is changing the realm. That's going to happen. It's a fact. It's going to happen relatively soon. So the early adapters, the ones getting ahead of the learning curve on that, are going to benefit the most from it. So rather than waiting till the very last minute when it switches and you have no choice but to now start learning it, and it's like scary and overwhelming, you guys are going to be light years ahead. So this is going to be an awesome training today. And Gary, please.
Beautiful. Thank you, Stevie. Jen and Colin. Good. Okay, let's do, you're out. Thank you. So we got a few things going on today. Obviously, we're talking about Realm and software. And Stevie, I love the Ted Lasso reference. That's will always be a Ted Lasso reference for me. Come from curiosity. And that's how I look at stuff like that. Software to a lot of people is like, oh my gosh. They run the other way when they see it. I'm here to tell you that it's okay. The Realm is actually okay. It is really, really easy to use once you know how to use it. Okay. And that's what I did. So how did I get onto Realm so fast? I saw about a year ago the emails coming out saying new system. I'm like, cool, this looks cool. And then you kind of forget about it. The email comes out, looks cool. And then it was launched, and I logged into it the day it was launched. And quite frankly, it took me about 3 hours to feel really comfortable with it. Now I'm tech savvy, I get it. Some of you might not be there, but the learning curve wasn't that long once I figured out how to do a couple of the things that I'm so used to doing in Stratus. So here's what we're gonna do today. We got a few things that are happening. Where do I start? We're gonna start here. We're doing a little giveaway. We're gonna have some fun. And we got some prize packs here filled with KW stuff, and maybe more importantly, Mike and Ike's gum, all sorts of other stuff. One of the most important books in our real estate industry, maybe the most important book. And how do you get one of these? You're gonna do, this is something I don't think realtors do enough. We always post, hey, I just sold this house. Hey, clients just bought this house, but we never show our clients us learning. And by us learning, it means that we're raising the bar for them, right? And that's incredibly important to your clients, because watching somebody else buy a house, they don't really care. If I can tell it to you, like, truthfully, they don't care that you bought a house for somebody. What they care about is the education that you're learning, so it's going to help them. So here's what we're going to do. Little Instagram contest, and Stevie's going to watch for us. So I want you to take some selfies throughout the afternoon here of you learning, and it's got to include the Instagram post has to include my tag, REALM's tag, because they want to see people in the industry using their system, and the hashtag. If it doesn't have this hashtag, Stevie can't see it. So my tag me, tag REALM. Do the hashtag. Stevie and I and Jen later will go and respond to that. Do the selfies, do whatever, have some fun with it. And here's Dylan. Here's what I know. He loves it when I say that, or he hates it. Can't figure it out. At 1:30, we're gonna do our first giveaway. My phone's just gonna beep and it's gonna go. And then I think at 2 o'clock we'll do the next one. Okay, have some fun with it. Like, Stevie might look for creativity. She might look for bland. I don't know. It's all up to Stevie. Yeah. See how she feels. I maybe offer her the Mike and Ike's. I don't know. But have some fun with it. Okay. Let's do a show of hands. Who has logged into REALM at least once? Okay. This is really good, because the last time I asked this question, I think 3 people put up their hand. So this is great. How about they use it more than once a week? Okay, drop off. This is the only system they use apart from loading. Yeah, I see a few hands. A couple of these, that's okay. My goal here for you at the end of the day is a couple of things. A, that you feel really comfortable in using the platform, and also you get to see how easy it is. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how fast it is on the mobile device, on your phone. And you're going to text somebody a listing. And you're just going to send it to them. And when we get there, I'll tell you what to write when you text it. But it is absolutely outstanding on how it appears in a text. And you can share listings right from the app. It is outstanding. You don't have to log into some special system, or your client doesn't. It is absolutely outstanding. Okay. Let's do the classic trainer thing. I asked in an email yesterday, so make sure you got these. I asked in an email yesterday, what did we want to learn today at REALM? So I got some answers back in, and we're going to cover those. So those that sent me emails, thank you, because that helps with our content to make sure you're getting out of today what you need to get out of today. But let's hear some things of what you want to learn, what you want me to make sure I cover, and you'll hold me accountable to it. So let's have some. What do you want to learn today? Nothing. Good. Okay. How to use, okay, let's get specific. Okay, search. Perfect. Absolutely. New client. Gotcha. I'm just going to put it here. What else? CMA. Yeah. What else? This is a really short class so far. Yeah. Differences. Strat versus REALM. Oh, you're going to love it. My handwriting gets sloppier as the lower I go. Today's listings. Yeah, sorry. Did I cut you off? Today's listings? Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. What else we got? Prospect search. Yeah, that's up here. Yeah, perfect. Okay, what do we got, Jen?
How to add listings to a basket. How to do CMA.
Yeah.
Hotspots for clients to invest in. New listing and prospect alerts, and can we share school districts?
Schools.
What does that mean? I see what's that.
Sorry.
Like neighborhood demographics and neighborhood stats.
Love it. I just gonna write stats. Is that okay?
Market report.
Yeah, that'll go in here. Yeah. Land registry. So yeah, let's talk about that. We're gonna call this, what are they called? Teranet. I should know that. I'm glad I said that before. Our friend is here. So here's what we might see a number of people coming in because we know the roads are a little bit sketchy today. And our friend, I hope she can make it. She was coming from another appointment this morning from Teranet. Teranet's the company that owns GeoWare, and more specifically Realm and a handful of other tools that we as realtors. So Teresa is more than obliged. She's coming, and she'll get here as soon as she can. Just kind of help with maybe some of those really technical questions that perhaps I don't know, and then just and to support us and to support our brokerage. Jen, well, yeah,
One more from
yeah.
the chat board. Can you share searches with a client and their spouse at the same time?
Kind of, yes. But we'll get into that. Searches.
Or searches.
Okay, on the board. So we got a lot here. Let's talk about, we're gonna talk about all those, don't you worry. Let's talk about why Realm is so important to us. The easy answer is because I'm gonna say a few months, definitely by the fall. They don't have a drop dead date yet of when it's gonna shift, but we will have no choice to use Realm. And here's what I know about being in the number of positions that I've had at KW, being able to sit on top producer panels, interview top producers that would sell hundreds and hundreds of units a year. On our podcast, we've had people sell 2,000 to 3,000 units every year. And you might say, Gare, what? Perfect. I don't know, you can do a puppet show back there or something. Here's what I know by all those top producers and something that I've learned along the way, right? Is what makes them tick. Why are they so much more successful than perhaps somebody that doesn't have that type of success, right? And you might say it's their determination. They work harder than nobody else. What my thought on that is, we all know people that work incredibly hard, right? That doesn't always provide the success that they're looking for, right? The one thing that I have learned what they do differently than, say, the majority of people is they are definitely this. I'm pointing to early adopters. They're early adopters. They're quickly in, and if it doesn't work for them the way that they see it going to work, they get back out. I can tell you, the early adopters that are jumping on Realm are going to be so much, they're going to have so much, what's the phrase I'm looking for? So much farther ahead than the agent that waits to the last minute. Trust me on this, okay? They will definitely have the advantage. The other cool thing is learning today, like months and months in advance, and using the program now, your clients will have a better experience than the current Stratus system. And you might say, well, Garrett, like why? Like who thinks Stratus? Let me rephrase that. Who enjoys or likes Stratus just the way it is? And it's okay. Be honest. Like it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. And it's fine, right? It works. And I know, Jen, you and I have laughed about this in the past. Like Jen and I, and I'm sure Paul and Michelle and others that have had their license, and Leslie, for, we'll say, more than 10 years, there was another system that we thought was okay until we had Stratus, right? And when Stratus has now been around for approximately, the current Stratus that we're on, and they've done upgrades, but the current way that it looks is about 10 years old. Do you know what else is 10 years old? Jen, I told you I'm going to do this. This is for my Apple friends. Who knows what this is? iPhone 4, which is about a little bit older than 10 years. And when I got I plugged it in last night, and It worked. Now the battery lasts about 5 minutes right now, but it worked. That's at the time when I got this iPhone 4, it was the best device I'd ever owned. It did absolutely everything that I could ever want it to do. It's kind of like Stratus, right? Why did they change it? Update it. Yeah. Why do I have this now? iPhone 14 Max Pro, blah, 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 blah. That's now the best. They got this thing to working as good as it possibly could go, right? And we were okay with it. In fact, we loved it. It was like revolution. In context, stay with me. It changed the world, right? It changed the way we do business. It's the same thing as they keep upgrading these phones. This phone, thank you. You'll see that on the big screen later. This phone is so powerful, and I don't even use it to its full capabilities. And I got to tell you, and I know it sounds like I'm this big rah-rah guy for Realm. This is what Realm's going to do for us and our clients, because it has so much more power and capabilities. And if it has this much, we're only going to be using this much on day one, because they can just keep building on it, keep providing on it. It is so powerful. Good stuff. Good stuff. Okay. We all can agree that Realm is incredibly important to the nature of our business going forward, right? For the various reasons. We can all agree that if we are the early adopters, Realm, we're going to become really comfortable with Realm, and more importantly, our clients are. And what I love about it, here's what I love about it, is I can be, and maybe you've heard me say this before, I can be anywhere in the world. In fact, I was in Qatar and I logged into Realm just with my Face ID. It is lightning fast, no matter where you are in the world, obviously connected to the internet some way. You can be in, how many of us have gone and done a showing? We're looking at the house, we forgot the listing paper in the car or wherever, or your client says, I really like that house that's for sale, but you didn't book that showing. And then you try and get out your phone and you try and log into the current Stratus now. Have we done that? No, Stevie's saying no, she won't even try. Yeah, and what was really cool is that when Broker Bay got introduced, we can now use Broker Bay to get some of that information, but it doesn't have all the information. I can now do it faster than you can even think about it on the Realm app. And we should all have that downloaded today. And if you haven't downloaded it today or downloaded it at all, download it now while I'm kind of doing the soapbox piece. I should have mentioned that before, but definitely download the app. That's all you'll need. And I love it because we've all been there too. We've been, it's 8:30 at night and you get a text from your client to say, hey, check out MLS number, blah, 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 because they found it on realtor.ca. And now all of a sudden you're curious, but you don't want to go run out to the car or go get your laptop or do whatever, but you need to because you want to take care of your clients. I just point the phone at my face and I'm into Realm and I have all the information. The first time you'll have to put in your clarity number, or about once a week, give or take, you'll have to do your clarity number as well. So it'll re-ask you. There is a way to do biometric access. This is also an Apple plug. Do you have an Apple phone, or it should work just fine for you? I don't know. I don't have experience. Never had experience on an Android, so sorry for those that have Android phones. I wish you well, but anyways, very good. Very good. Okay, so here's a few things that it does really well. I mentioned it's incredibly fast. I have all the information in my hand in a sense, right, through the app. I also, if I pull up a listing, whether it's on the app or the laptop, desktop, I have all the information there, including land title information from Geo Warehouse. It gets auto-populated right in. If I choose, and I'll show it to you. We'll click into it. If I want to go see the Geo Warehouse information and like the actual lot size that Geo has, I just click a button. It's right there as well. But it's pulling in most of the information I could want at any given time. The search features are really really, really powerful. The save features kind of tying into that are really powerful as well. We just need to know how to do it. There's a few, I'm gonna call them quirks. And if Teresa was here, I'd call them quirks as well. There's a couple of things we do in Realm, or we do differently in Realm that perhaps we do in Stratus. So we're gonna go through some of those today. What else? The other cool thing is the market stats. Where do I want to go with this? Because somebody brought that up, the stats and the market stats and how to pull that information. In the current system in Stratus, it's really difficult to pull the stats and the strats. It can be difficult, and you got to go through a couple of different systems sometimes to pull that. The information that we would typically need is right in front of us. As we're looking at properties, the stats are being updated on the side continuously as we change our filters, the location, and I love it. For a stat guy, a stat geek, it is fantastic. I love it. I love it. The other cool thing here, and I think someone mentioned it, the schools, yeah. It's got what we use like Google Maps or Apple Maps, and we can put layers, right? We want to see the railroads, or we want to see this, we want to see that. And I'll show you, it's got stats for your school catchment basement, or I can't even speak, where your children would go to school. Okay. And if the house is outside of that geographic area, what school they would go to. So often, and I never know this answer because that's a lot to memorize. When you go take a family to go see a home and they want to know what school their kids would go to, I'll get back to you. Now you have that information right in front of you, which is pretty cool. We can now who wants a system that can actually make them money? Yeah. That's a yes. It has really easy, without having to do a lot of statistical work, with a click of one button. I'll show it to you. It's just something called heat maps. Michelle's on it. What are heat maps, Gary? Heat maps in this context is it'll show a community and it'll give you the darker the red, the higher the turnover rate is. So try this on for size. Let's say I want to create a new farm area, right? And it's somewhere here in Newmarket. I like that area because maybe I grew up in that area and I know that area. And that's going to be my farm. And you haven't really put a lot of research, a lot of thought into it, but you start door knocking or calling or doing whatever, hosting events up there, garage sales, doing whatever. And what the heat map would tell you is there actually turnover in this area? Because if there's not, I'm not going to get a lot of sales from all this work that I'm doing. As opposed to the northwest end of Newmarket, behind like the other side of the mall, there's a lot of turnover in that area, and I'll show you that. And it can make or break a career if you decide to do a farm in the correct area where there's actual turnover. The other thing that it'll show you as well is the price increase, and you can change it over amount of time as well. And it'll show you the hotter it gets, the more of the increase. So we'll look at all that kind of stuff. Everything that I just mentioned, and I'm going to harp on this, I can do with my phone. I can do the heat maps. I can do the turnover. I can do the school zones, all with my phone. Sound good? Sound good. Okay. As I've been talking, and if there's something that pops into your mind, you want to add to this list, or as we're digging into maybe one of the features on the app, we'll add it. We'll add it to the list and let me know what we got there, and we'll circle back to it. Definitely circle back to it. Okay. Is there anything we need to add to the list right now? Jen?
Do our clients transfer automatically from Stratus to Realm if they're in prospect searches?
No, that's okay, because we're gonna make it better in Realm for them. It just takes a little bit of work. That's okay. Any other questions before we move on? Yes? No? Good. Let's move on. I think that's the sign, is move on, Gary. Okay. We all got the app, because I will load up my app in just a moment here, and after I kind of go through the desktop version of it. and we'll dig into it. So let me just do a couple of things. I should have wrote the login site. The login site for this is TRREB, TRREB .realm.mlp.ca. Stevie, maybe you can write that on our board here. It's just up here, trreb.realm.ca. And this is the same, it's the same address that your clients would use, because this does not look currently like a Stratus login, right? It doesn't have anywhere where I can put in my authenticator or anything like that. And I'm going to show you, as soon as I start typing my TRREB ID, it changes. It automatically changes. So it's good. It's already smarter. All right. And then you would just add in your information, right? And as I pull up mine, give me a moment here. 7-1, oops.
Guys, don't forget to use the hashtag KWRC for pics circulating right now, because I know his alarm is about to go off and I'm not seeing many.
Got to hashtag it.
Yeah.
Post. Hey, Teresa, come on in. How you doing? How you doing? Sit right here or with Jen just over here? Yeah. Thanks for coming. Okay. So we just got logged in. That's my home page. And let me ask you this question. Who's logged in right now? We got a few people. We got a lot of people logged in. Awesome. Okay. Does your homepage look like my homepage? No, it never will. Unless you think like me, and that's scary for you. I apologize. Is my YouTube page the same as your YouTube page or your kids' YouTube page? No, because the system knows what I'm looking at, right? It's pulling up all the latest listings that I've looked at. If I scroll here, let me just move this bar out of the way. Some of my searches, some of my save lists, all sorts of stuff. The stats to the left of the screen here, those are the areas that I typically search the most. So it's going to pull some market stats there. Behind, how do I move this? Let's just move this. There we go. On the right-hand side, Vincent, it's got my market areas. So that information currently is still being pulled by Stratus, correct? Yes, I got it right. Teresa's now here to make sure I get everything right. And so we can look at all that. But this is my homepage, and we'll get, there it is. There it is. Okay, Stevie, what do we got?
Well, I only have a few posts to choose from.
All right.
I don't know, let me put Facebook really quick. Hold on.
Okay.
Well, guys, you still got time for the second one.
Yeah.
I can still do a post. I'm gonna give this the first one to actually Tina Reed, who did a post from home.
Oh, excellent.
And it's awesome. So
Tana Reed, congratulations. So here's what you get. So there's a shift book in this particular one, and she probably wants the Mike and Ike's. So there's Mike and Ike's. There's other and yeah, this is also, yeah. So well done, Tana. Congrats. So now you know what you're all playing for, or maybe I really want the Mike and Ike's. Maybe it's just all about me. However, put that in there because your clients care that you're learning. They really, really do. Good stuff. So I think it's 2 o'clock is the next one, we'll find out. It might be a surprise. Okay. So my homepage is going to look different than your homepage, right? And here's a few. I'm going to show you kind of how to move around it a little bit, and then we'll get into some of the specifics that you had asked about. And here's what I want you guys to know today: that today is about the exposure to Realm, and really kind of those baby steps into the toddler steps and that type thing. I want you to become comfortable with it. And then once you start using it, my experience is then you start to get questions, and that's good. That's okay. But what today's not a tech support day. So if you came and you thought it was going to be, I apologize for that. What I really want it to be is I want to show you how good it can be for you. Okay. And it, like I said, at the beginning, when I first learned it, it only really took me about 3 hours to kind of figure it out. Now, there's always new releases and things that are being added along the way that we'll learn. And Stratus does the same. Platform does the same thing. But to navigate around and to look at stuff, you have to do things a little bit differently than what we're accustomed to at a Stratus. Okay. So what's the first thing you should do, and we're not going to do it today, is just to go up here. Up here meaning on the top right is the icon for my profile, and you'd want to set that up, right? Just so it has your information. So if you are emailing your clients, which you should be, texting your clients, the program, this is what I love, and this is what we're gonna look at in a few minutes from now when we pull up a listing and we text it to our client, and then you get to look at the link, okay? This is what I love, Teresa, is it's branded to you. Not branded to Stratus or the MLS, it's branded to you. And that I love. I absolutely love, because we want to market ourselves, right? Yes.
Gary,
Yeah.
when you first logged in and you demonstrated that there was a login that would work for us as soon as you start putting in your ID, it changes to as a TREB member. So does that mean the general public will also have access to REALM?
Yeah. So I think I have a client access here. We can pull up the client page, and it'll look very similar to this. However, without all the extra tools that is not privy to the general public, if you will, right? But they would go. They download the same app, correct? They download the same app and use the same landing page to log in. And of course, as a realtor, we have so many more tools than the client would, but they're going to see the same stuff. That's a good question, Gail. Yeah. Good. Yeah. Wonder Bar or Crunchy? Yeah, that's my kind of girl right there. I forgot I had these. See, if you don't just ask a random question, there you go. Love it. Okay. Good. What's the first, other than setting up your profile and everything else, what's the first thing realtors always love to do? Check what's new in their neighborhood. So how do we do that? And that was the part that, if I'm to be honest, that was the part, and I think like if you frustrated me a little bit at the beginning, because I'd pull something and then there's and quite honestly, there's 1, 2, there's 3, there's 4 different ways to search something, right? And you see, Dina, you're shaking your head. Hey, where do I go? There's so many different ways. I'm going to show you what they're for. Okay. So the first one here, the first one being the top left of the page, that's where I would enter an MLS number. If I know the MLS number, if your client sends an MLS number to you, that's typically where I'd go first. And what numbers are we at now? 58. I can just start typing a number in here, and it'll start to auto-populate in just a second here as I get, maybe I don't have the right numbers. As soon as I get enough numbers in there, it'll start to auto-populate until I get to the specific number. So that's where I would do MLS specific numbers. Okay, because otherwise it's not going to take me. Let me ask you this question. Who searches by a search criteria? Put up your hand. They put in all the specifics. Okay, I know what kind of people you are. Not map search. Yeah, so you put in Newmarket, Stonehaven, 4-bedroom home, but you put all that in and then the list comes up. Okay, I know exactly how to talk to you and what people you are. That's great. Who just randomly goes to the map? Yeah, you're my kind of people. Yeah, because I'm visual, right? I said that. I'm going to show you both ways. It's okay. There's not a right way or a wrong way. There's Gare's way and everybody else. No, I'm kidding. That's how I look at it. So let's do that. Let's just search a property here. Now I'm going to do it my way. Mike, Christian, I got you. That's the map. So if I just click that, let me do that again. I'm going to go home. I love that this is working. This is amazing. I'm on my home page. So how did I get to that map? The fastest way for me that I found, there might be other ways, there's always more than one way to do something, is to click that search button right in the middle here or at the top, and it's going to take me to the map view. Now, what this is going to show me is currently all the listings on TRREB. It's kind of a lot. Well, that's how I like to look at stuff because I'm visual. And I, just like any other map there is in the world, you just double click, or you can have your location settings on and it'll just go right to your location. I'll show you that in just a second. But here we go. As I click in, there's new market and there's the listings that pop up in new market. And when you, who uses this feature in Stratus right now? Okay, here's a big difference. When you click on the map in the current Stratus and you drag it to another spot, what happens? It kind of disappears. Or I'm actually looking at a listing. I'll pull this listing up and I'm currently in Stratus. I'm like, yeah, cool listing. I want to see what's next. I go back and it's completely blank, right? We have to jiggle the map in a sense for all that to come back. You can see how fast this is going as I'm just clicking on stuff, right? So that's one way to get to this. There's a lot here. That's one way to look it up. The next, let's go back. Let's go back to the home page. Now, give me an area. Like we can start at York region, or we can get very specific, like Stonehaven. Stonehaven, should we start there? Okay, good. Glad you said that. Good. Stonehaven, here we go. So now I got that community. I don't have to go York region, Newmarket, Stonehaven. I just go right to the community, right? I can put in multiple communities if I wanted, but I want to look at everything that's for sale and available. Freehold is already chosen for me. Bed and bath. Dina, how many bedrooms do we need? 4. Okay, perfect. Is there a price range? Your clients, they don't care. They're unlimited. I like it. Okay, so I'm going to hit search there now. So you see the blue outline of Stonehaven community. The current listings come up. Everything with a 4-bedroom. And if I need more, like more filters, because I'm not seeing what I want to see. If 40 listings came up here, there's too much still. That's where I would hit some of this other stuff that we've done in Stratus. More filters. You can add for the pool and everything like that. Does that make sense? You guys with me on that? So if I don't use that for the rest of the day, don't get mad at me because I'm a map guy. I'll move it around. But if you want to see something very specific, let me know and I'll get into that. That's no problem. I like it because you can do the days on market just as you could in Stratus, all of that stuff. So I'm going to show you. I hope this works for me because I think it's going to. I'm going to go back to the home page, and then all of a sudden you have a client that says, hey, I want to look in Markham. Oh, good. So you think to yourself, I'm just going to jump right back in and look up the Markham area, right? That's what we would do. So through the map way. Oh, maybe I did this wrong. I was hoping it would come back with a default search. Did I do that differently? Sorry, not the default first is what I previously looked up.
If you click on search in the top, then it will bring you back there because you hit the search button.
This right here. Gotcha. Okay, so here, that's really important to learn. So there's a few things that'll happen here, and I'm back on my home page. And if I go back to that Stonehaven area, Stonehaven, here we, oops, and search that, and you're saying if I click here, Teresa, yeah.
So just click on contacts and then
Yeah.
back to search.
Yeah. So I go back to my contacts. I want to verify something in my contacts. And then if I go back to search, what happens is it remembers where I was previously looking, which is sometimes a great thing. The thing that sometimes that caught me off guard at the very beginning, because I wasn't aware of it, is if I didn't have like this specific area, but I had filters on, it's going to pull up those filters. You're thinking, I know there's a listing there. Where is it? It's because it's remembering your previous search. And that can be frustrating if you're not in tune with it, right? So one of the things that the way to do that is at the bottom, way down here, is you can click restore to default, which is just everything, right? Or clear. And that to me, if I get people calling me or texting me what's going on, that's one of the frustrations that they have, because that's not the way we do things in Stratus. But the way we do things in Stratus doesn't mean it was right or wrong. It's just different, right? This will be very powerful for you. Realm is way more powerful than Stratus will be. Okay. So I don't want to get too deep into searches, but but I'll show you a few things here on the left. So we're going to clear that. And what should we look at? So let's, here on the top left, I hit location. And in that location, if I know my MLS number, I can put it in here. Remember, there's more than one way to do things. Looking farther down, if I just want to look up new market, I can do that too. Sorry, that's the wrong spot. That should be York. Thank you. And it's just going to go pull up all of York region, and you can just keep going down, filtering down as you would with Stratus into the town or the city and then the community. Or you just skip all that, like I said earlier. So again, location, and I just want to go right to Stonehaven again, and it'll do that as well. I don't need to go region, city, area. It'll do that just fine. Okay, you want to look at a listing? What's the information it's given us? Okay, let's do that. So I'll, just like anything, I just click on it, and I'm sure you've already done it. I can flip through the pictures here if I choose to. But again, I'm visual, I'm big, I got to see it big. So it pulls up all, this is what your listing now looks like versus what it used to look like in Stratus. It's much more visual. They provide all the most important information at the top for you and the client to know. And then as we go down it, we have still obviously the property description, and maybe more importantly, remarks. It's different spots, right? But it's okay. Now, once you see where that spot is, now you know where to look. You'll just scroll right down and read it, right? Because in Stratus right now, we know exactly where to look. That's what's going to happen in, Christian, you got a hand? Just, hi. Yeah, I got you. Okay, good. Good. So as I scroll down, of course, this is all typical information you see in a listing: 4-bed, the bathrooms, the rooms, total parking spots, 6 parking spots. That's amazing. 46 days on market, contact details. So I can contact the broker right here. All the pictures, and you might say to yourself, I want to see these bigger. What do? I just click on I click on the blue box right here, and it'll do it in a big screen. So it has all that. It has the links to the virtual tours. It's so much more visual looking. All the links that I might want on the online appointment. So if I want to book a showing here, it'll take me right into the Broker Bay piece of it. We're all familiar with that, right? If I want to write an offer on this property, it has the direct link to web forms, Authentisign, which I love. It's right there. It's so easy. It does have the link to the Geo Warehouse information. I will click that and circle back to that. I'm going too fast. Slow me down. Trust me. Of course, then you have now this is where you get your property description. And then of course, the information of the home. And these are things that I always like to look at. Like, what was the original list price? We just have to look at a different spot now. So it's under usually that was at the top. Now we just got to scroll a little bit, right? What was the list price? Maybe the client wants to know the taxes. All that information is right here. Here we go. We should all go buy this house because they're offering 3% commission. Love it. You laugh, but and it's vacant. Come on, we can close this property this month if we need to. It has the legal description. It's all in there, and then all the information about this specific house. I'm not left-handed. And now what I love, it's got the land registry information. So I know we're all good realtors in here. When you have you want to prepare an offer, currently we'd have to jump actually right into Geo Warehouse, right? To confirm that the legal description did copy over properly, and just as important as the legal description, you're actually buying it from the people that own the property, right? Especially in today's recent news, right? Well, we don't necessarily have to verify that, right, Teresa? Because it's actually pulling in the information. Remember at the beginning, I said Teranet owns Geo Warehouse and Realm. It's all one big happy family talking to each other, right? That's the best part. For some of us, we like to pull this information, the parcel registry and other information, right? And we'll pay for that. Sometimes having that extra information is good. Or if you're going to be listing a house, sometimes you need to verify some of the minor details, which sometimes aren't so minor. All of that information is all right on this same listing page. I don't have to click into another app or anything like that. I'm all living in one spot. So in here, this is typically, it's not showing up here because the agent did input it, but room sizes would be there, right? This is really good. I love this. Now you have to scroll almost all the way down to the bottom to see the extras. And what we care about is, they are really motivated, my friends. We should go buy this property. That's where the broker remarks are. So I know that's one question that I get a lot is, where do I see the broker remarks? You just got to scroll. But now once you know, if you've gone to the map, you've gone too far. It's just above the map, right? I'll show you this on the phone in just a sec, in a few minutes. All of this information is not just for the desktop or laptop. It's on the phone as well. And if I go down,
Gary,
yes.
and this may not be really relevant to this, but do you know when this really rolls out as our main platform, will we have more fields to write in than what we currently have to start? They make it look like we can write, you know, a novel, but really you only have this many characters.
I don't know that specific. I know recently, and with the work of Stratus and TRREB, they allowed that character count. So you mean so what Gail's referring to here is the property description. Can I write a longer property description, or can I have more characters in the extras and the broker comments? Right. That's what we're talking about, right? Yeah. Good. We're limited to a number of characters, and I know recently Stratus, I believe, increased that, as well as about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago now, they increased the number of photos that can be uploaded. And that's actually, this is another reason why Realm is so much more powerful. Remember this iPhone 4, it can only handle so much information, right? And now that we're moving to a nice big system, it can handle much more information. So I don't have a clear answer on how many characters, but the capabilities now there, Gail. Yeah, good.
So is there a client version of the K? Like I print my list, like when I go to a property, I print, you know, broker copy and a client copy, give my client a copy of the listing, that type of thing. Is there like
Yeah, I'm surprised that didn't come up earlier. So how do we print this? Let's do it right now. How do we print this, Gare? Right? At the very, always, wherever this is the other thing I like, is the menu bar. This might sound so stupid and simple. The menu bar is always locked at the top of the page, right? As I scroll, which is good because that gives me features without scrolling all the way back to the top of a few things. And we'll get to some of the other things right now, but we talked about printing. So let's do that right now. I'm going to click this arrow here and there's my print feature. And this is something that I love because everything that I need here is all right here. So I can click the client full sheet, print it. I can then change that just like as you would in Stratus, I believe, to broker full. Now, you're either going to print a one-page listing, or it comes up in multiple pages, right? Yeah, and in multiple pages. So this is really important on a couple of areas, because when we are purchasing a home, who requires the listing broker loaded or the broker view listing report? Who requires that? Not only the buyers and the lawyer, mortgage. So this is where you would do that. You could print it and save it to a PDF and send it, or actually send it to them. But I always like to give them a PDF version of the listing, right? Yeah. So that's where you would do that. Good. I'm glad you brought that up. And
it's nice that it has a one sheet option, so you're not printing 10 pages and giving that to your client and they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. So again, that's at the top of the listing.
Can we actually see what it looks like?
Print. Yeah, it does take a minute to kind of populate here. So we'll do the broker full. There we go. And then hit print. And the system just does its thing, and we'll come back to it in just a minute. So that's important. Yes, Jonathan. Yeah.
Yeah, and now I hear that we're getting an inclusions, exclusions, and all of that stuff now, right?
Yeah, I just got added this morning. So this is the print. This is the 7-ish page version that we were just talking about. So this is everything. You may not want all of this, but sometimes you do because it prints off the pictures and things like that. So we're jumping ahead, and I'll circle back to it. But if I was doing a CMA, I might want all this, right? This is, you definitely want the pictures if you're doing a CMA. Okay, so that's how it would look. And you can, just like Stratus, you can do multiple. If I clicked on multiple listings that we were looking at, you can do the same thing there. Good stuff. Okay. Is there any other questions about the actual what information or where to get the information from the listing? No, we're good. See, now that you know where it is, it's kind of like, oh yeah, okay, now I got that.
Who sees that note?
This note, that's a good question. So this note in here is great house. That's just for me. No one can see that. Great home. These comments are kept private to myself. So I don't have to keep a sheet of paper or write the notes down. It's all kept right in the system, right? And the other cool thing here is at the top, I could give this listing a little heart. That's basically puts it in one of my favorites. Like it's my favorite. At the top in here, this part's really cool. It's kind of jumping ahead of ourselves, but I can chat with one of my clients, and in the internal Realm chat program, we're not talking about WhatsApp or anything like that. The chat Realm program will send this listing and whatever my notes are to whatever client that I choose to send it to. So that's actually really, really handy, right? Because
They have to have the app.
they have to have the app, and that's one of the and we'll go through that in just a minute. One of the things right now is when you send your clients listings, you're sending it to them on email. And how do they typically respond? Text. So now you're jumping forth and back and everything else. Stevie, yeah.
I was just gonna say, sorry, I zoned out there for a minute. But I was so.
Thanks, appreciate that. That's the support we get here, my friends.
But I was just gonna say, this sounds like when you're doing this kind of thing, they actually have the app, they're doing it. It's kind of like collab a little bit.
Yes. So this is
Kind of vibe.
this is collab time like 10x.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
yeah, a lot of the foundation was collab, or the tools that we use were from collab. It's just much more powerful now. Yeah. So I
Get older clients and stuff though. They don't want to download an app. They don't want to.
that's okay. That's okay. So I might, yeah, I'm gonna text them or send them the link, and that'll be it. Yeah.
Is it typically last 2 weeks? Like you only use for 2 weeks?
That is, I don't know the answer to that. 30 days. That's what we're gonna go. Yeah, that link. Yeah. That's a good question, actually. So how long, the question again is for our friends on Zoom, if I send a link or if I send a listing to a client, how long is that listing link live for? And it's 30 days. We'll go with that. That's great. Good. So yeah, I can, as soon as I click who I'm going to send it to, I can send that to a client of mine that I already have registered in the system. I could send it to Mike Russo because he's an agent. At least I'm pretty sure he is. I can send it to Mike and buy this, get paid 3%. So Mike on his app should have just got that like instantaneously. Yeah. Don't let me down, Mike. Don't let me down. There you go. Yeah. And that's the ease of it and how fast it is, right? And you can send that to, from what I believe, any agent on Toronto Real Estate Board. Is that correct? Yeah, Teresa's saying yes. Yeah, perfect. So the other cool thing here is, and maybe this is not a good, oh, maybe it is.
Sorry, can you send it to just somebody's email without them being like set up in your system?
Absolutely. So sorry. Yes. Yeah. And there's a way to do that, but I typically only do that from the mobile app. If I'm going to send them a text, right? I can do it from, it's better to do it right from here. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. Yeah, so the email, great question. How do I do that again? Again, I'm gonna hit this blue button where I went to print the listing itself. I'm gonna hit email, and then your typical email functionality comes up, right? We don't have to we see this, we know how to use it, right? We don't have to go through it. And it might have the one listing here or the 4 or 5 that I'm gonna send them. So that's, and they just get a link and they click the link. So what does that link look like? Let's do that. I'm going to send this to myself. I love getting mail from myself. That's good. So we'll send that off. It's been sent and it'll show me the client view of it. So if I check my email here, that might take a little while actually, because I might have to authenticate it to go in.
Can you send a broker full link to a realtor?
Can I send a broker full link to a realtor?
Or do you have to save it as a PDF and then send it?
You know, I haven't tested that specifically, but I believe that it sends the client version of the listing. Right now.
Like I'm thinking outside boards, like if some, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think at the moment what Teresa's saying, and I believe you're correct on that, is at the moment you can only send the client view. Otherwise you'd send a PDF version of the broker view. Jen.
We have a chat question.
Chat question.
Tina is asking if you have to, how do you direct your client to download the app? So are you emailing them an invitation or go to the store or what's up?
Yeah, love it. So the question is, how do I get my client to download the app? I'll show you that, and that's our next topic. We'll go directly there. That's good. Let's just check my email. I think it came in. Maybe I typed it wrong. Anyways, you're seeing all my emails. That's fine. I'll let you know when that comes in. We'll look at that. So that's a great segue because I want to get to the app portion of it, and it's great when you have the app version of it. However, we need clients, right? Our business would be pretty boring without clients. So what do we do with our clients? And then we'll talk about some of the other things there and the searches for our clients and everything that goes along with that. So you can get to the client side any which way you need to. I'll just start from the home page so you can see that. And it's just like any other app.
and is this when you set up a prospect search for your client, is it now they're getting it in real time?
If they choose. So we'll talk about that. So real time searches and everything that goes along with that. So clients is at the very top. And we were all tech savvy enough to know what clients and saved and searches are. And we'll go through that in just a second. So I got some mock clients in here and I 1 or 2 live clients, but here's where my clients are. And let me just move this out of the way. But how do I invite a client to use the app? So I'm just right on cue. It was 2 o'clock, by the way. I wasn't sure what the time was. I forgot what I put it in for.
So our second winner is going to be Miss Christine Allen.
Whoa, all right.
Shout out to Pauline for the little girl in the chair.
Oh,
That was cute.
I like it. Congratulations. Take it all. Don't just take the best. I mean, take it. Yeah. Crunch your Wonder Bar.
Oh, Wonder Bar.
Wonder Bar. That's this one. Which means I got 2 crunchies left. And they're right here. If anybody wants them, you know what to do. I can't believe no one's walked up, Jen. They've not been at enough KW events to just walk up and grab one of these. So there it was. You had a choice and you chose not to walk up and get one. I think you don't like it. Okay.
That's what I'm getting. Nobody likes crunchy.
I do.
I don't want to go to the dentist after.
Okay. Here we go. I have a client and I want to send them Realm so they can use it. Easy. Click back to the blue arrow, click the blue arrow in the button, add new client, and just follow the instructions. Incredibly easy there. And let's do that. So we're going to name this one Buyer. I think Buyer Bob's a good guy. And I could put, if you had his phone number, you put it in there, but obviously you need his email address. So we'll put in buyer, or how about BB? That should work. And put in an email address. It's a good thing this is going to work. Gary A. McGowan. Perfect. So all I have to do is hit the save and invite. And this is the templated email that Realm has created. I haven't changed it, which is not typical of Gary, because I would typically change what the email says because I want it to reflect me. Remember, the system is really branded to you. So what I have done in the past is, especially at Stratus, maybe I've done it here in some of the other stuff, great listing for you to look at, or great listing app. And I would do that, get their attention, right? Change it, get their attention. And I would just simply click send. And all of a sudden, buy Bob, instead of buyer Bob, buy Bob would get that email and invite Gail.
Is that then gonna be a page that is personalized with Gary McGowan on it?
Let's
Or
see
is
what
it
that
the
looks like.
generic Realm
No,
where you could originally log in, where I earned my own.
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, let's go back for the crunchy. I like it. I like it. Wait, didn't you just?
Nope.
Okay, that's what I thought. Oh, I'm in the wrong email. That's why. Let's do this. Let's do this. We're going to share my phone, hopefully. And I'll show you what it looks like. Zoom. And give that a second. Cross our fingers. What does that page look like? What does that information look like? I actually forget that answer, but we're going to look at it together. Yeah. Okay, there's my phone. And this is, let's go into my email. I was already there. And first of all, somebody asked me, what does the listing look like? So here's what the email looks like. And if I click on the link, sorry, I should have done it the other way. The app, not the app, a website link comes up. And who's it branded to? Right at the very top is me, right? That's what I like. Instead of realtor.ca or what have you, right? And as I scroll down, and it's only black because I like black backgrounds, okay? The default would be white. It's got all the information that you would see that we just previously looked at, minus the broker information, right? You do not need the app for this. Yeah, yeah.
And this is just the same boards as like are currently with Toronto Real Estate.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. Now there's a few things that I can get creative and do with this, okay? Maybe I emailed it to myself because I want to send this particular listing to, maybe it's my listing, and I want to send it to my database. I would just copy, if I was on my laptop and I opened it on my laptop, or here, I would just click the top and I would just copy that. Now all of a sudden I got that link, and I can put that in any web browser, anything, email, anything I want, and send it to my client. Pretty cool. Very, very cool. In fact, I could even text that same link. It's a long link, but I could text it to them, that same link. Now, when you pull up the app and you want to text the app to somebody, sorry, text the listing to somebody, the link gets shortened. But I'll show you what that looks like in just a second. The other question is, what does that email look like when you send an invite? And that's this one, by Bob, right at the very top. You are invited, and it tells you complete this registration and sign in, and I can do that, and it'll take me to create the username and account, everything along. Well, get into that right now, but that's what it would look like, and that user experience.
Will it be personalized to Gary? You're sending it to your clients. Will their experience have your name on it?
Yes. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
It's the same as like, because I post a lot of like, oh, the top 10 houses under 800,000 for my first time home buyers. If I wanted to like post that to my link tree and then send people there, how would I kind of create that list? And would it be the same way where I find all the homes, kind of send it to myself and then copy that link?
You nailed it. Yeah. Yeah, the only piece there that we haven't really covered yet is how do we create the lists, right? So we can do all that. Now, remember that that list that we would create or that listing link it would expire, right? But see, now we're thinking like lead gen, right? Now we're thinking, how is the system going to do lead gen with us? Jen.
Got a question from Stephanie Suave. If we want to update the contact info they see, so I'm assuming our information that they see, do we make those changes in TRREB directly, or is that in REALM, I guess?
Realm. Yeah, then we can do that. If I stop the share on this, we'll go back to my phone and the app in just a moment here, because there's some good stuff I want us to cover there. Share. Let's go back to here. We're up there. That's right here, Steph, to change some of your profile and information. That would be edit profile. And there you can change your information. So the personalization, the piece, the emails that I was talking about that are automatically sent to your clients. This is, I really let myself down here. This is what I would change, right? Make it sound like you. Make it enticing for them to open, because they might be getting the system. We'll set the system up like on a drip campaign, right? Sending out the current listings, the listing. Make it kind of fun, right? And I'll get to you just a sec. What you do have to remember here, though, is it can't be personalized to that exact person, right? So if you want to change the subject, everyone that is on a drip campaign is going to see that same subject line. Keep that in mind. Back there.
See on the listing page pictures and right, we see the salesperson and brokerage. Clients will see that.
That's right.
Contact information is just for us. If they see that property, like that property, they have to go work with us.
Yeah, that's a absolutely fantastic point. When we send them that listing, there's no contact information there for the other agent or for the other brokers. It is all us. Jen. Yeah, Teresa, sorry.
I was gonna say, it's at the bottom of the page, because according to Rico, we do have to show, but it's, you're prominently showed up at the top, they're at the bottom,
I like it.
so.
I like it. She said that. We're at the top. They're at the bottom. Yeah. Yeah, Jen.
So Steph's just asking a follow-up. If you go back to my profile, can you change your phone number there? Or is it always going to be the office number as the default?
I believe there is a spot to do that. I forget where that is. Can we change our phone number and the contact information, Teresa?
I believe actually you have to do that through Stratus right now, and it's based on your registration with your brokerage.
Yeah.
So we'd have to go back to Stratus, but I imagine it'll be built out in here by the time that Stan's retired.
Yeah, good. So currently, to answer that question, if there's some details in here you want to update, do that through Stratus and through the TRREB system. So there's a few things that are still living here. Let's kind of just take a break for a second. There's a few things that are still living in Stratus until they make the big switch over. And then once they do that, you won't be able to do those things in Stratus anymore. Okay. But until that time, that's where some things have to live. So we got to kind of coexist for a little bit. Good. Okay. Let's kind of circle back to this. And I think, okay, there's a few things we got to cover here in about 45-ish minutes. Okay, we've seen the client piece of it. Let's just dig right in and do a client list or a list. It's kind of the same thing, if you will, right? A list, whether you send it to just yourself or you save it for yourself or you send it to a client, it's kind of the same. So let's go, Teresa, jump in here. If you want me to circle back on something or highlight something, feel free. Again, back to my homepage, and I'm going to hit the search button here. I want to create a list of some homes in Newmarket. That's fine. I can do that really easily. So the actually fastest way is to do the way that I don't prefer, but that's the fastest way to do it. And we're going to choose Stonehaven again. There we go. It's just going to zoom right in. There's our current listings, right? And I can do a couple of things there. I can just hit save search. just like that. And I can save it. We're going to call this,
Every house in Stoughton.
yeah, just STH for short. And who am I saving that for? I can just save that for myself of my own personal interest because I'm following that area, or that's my farm, right? It's not a big enough farm, but that's one way to do it. And so if I'm going to say that for myself, it's already defaulted to me at the top here. You can see that that's already defaulted. How do I want to be notified of new listings there? Right? Because right now we can get the emails at midnight. It's kind of annoying because then you wake up to a bunch of emails, or you get automatic push notifications. And as soon as a listing pops up, you can get that, or you can send it up in a slightly different way. So I'm going to have it send to me on push notifications, which is on the app. Okay. If I also want emails, I can have it email me as well. So that means, so let's understand what push notifications are. That's not an email. That's only a notification on the app to say a new listing came up. Yeah, they're just like that. Yeah. That's what push notifications are. If you prefer, and there's no right or wrong way. If you prefer the email, then you would choose the daily or in real time. Maybe you want it in real time because you've got a client that is just itching and you want to look at everything as soon as it comes up for sale. And that's the one thing that I love that Stratus has not been great with. Real-time information.
So on daily, do you get to choose what time it pushes out your email?
I believe that's still, that's still,
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right now I'm sending my clients 3:30 in the morning or whatever, right?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Or how many, or a couple times a day.
Yeah.
Would be nice.
And that's where that's where them having the app is really handy, right? Because then they can get it in real time. And this is one of the reasons why Teresa likes coming to events like this, because then she gets to hear some feedback from users on how we use it. And then she take it back and talk to the team there as well. So I can save this. So let me circle back to the search. Okay. Let's say I had 100 people 100 clients in here. I could just use the search bar to search for that individual. This is just on recent. So maybe I have team members in here as well. If you're on a big team, you might have other team members. So if I had a team on here, so if Jen and Stevie were on my team, I could send this listing to them through the app or through email as well. Right. And then of course, self-explanatory, this is where the buyers would or your clients would live. And you would just hit save search and it's done. It's going to be defaulted to me. And now I'm going to get those notifications. Jen, that's okay.
Melissa Braze is asking when the emails go out, so currently in Stratus, under the client profile, you can create default emails for each client, right? That are personalized. Can you do that in this system for the contacts?
Not that I'm aware of, it's just a template, that's like one template for the
That may
emails.
not a
Yes.
template for everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's actually that'd be a great enhancement to have as well.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
They can already do it, right?
Yeah, no, it shouldn't, the idea behind Realm is not to lose functionality, it's to have what you have now plus.
Yes.
Can we see them clicking the links?
Okay, good question. Here's a great piece. Because I know on Matrix and some of the other systems and definitely on websites or emails, we get used to email tracking, right? We want to know when a client clicks on it.
Yeah,
because we want to know if we should pick up the phone or not and say, let's go, right? I can't remember the name of it. List reports, can't remember. Do you remember the name of it, Teresa? There's a third-party vendor coming in. TRREB's already announced it. That is going to give us that information, especially when we all have a listing. I don't know if you're aware of this, and if so, great, maybe a history lesson. We have a listing. Realtor.ca will give us some stats on how many times that listing was viewed, if it was shared, if it was favorited. There's an enhanced version of that coming out by another vendor. And it looks really good. They haven't announced that date, but we're going to get some of that information because that's vital to our business, which is really, really good.
So like if we email a client a listing, like we'll be able to see potentially if they click on the link and actually read our email.
That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. Paul,
So just to dumb it down here.
love it.
we're gonna- For every one of our search engines that are running right now, I'm gonna go into Realm and re-input everything that we want.
Yeah.
No way of it transferring. in.
Not right now.
So between now and the fall, that all has to be switched over. And there is a contact way of putting.
Yeah.
That's true.
Can we import contacts from Stratus?
So-
That's your question, right, Paul? Yeah.
As well as search information, that functionality will be available in the future. They're working on it right now, within the next little while. Watch for an announcement about it.
To
What I
switch for search to search on different platforms?
Yeah,
Like,
so
like-
I would
like a rep
wait for
search?
that. Like, I wouldn't replicate your database unless you really want to use Realm for that specific search itself. If you have stuff that's working in Stratus right now, I just leave it because it's working fine and it's going out. But for net new, I would put it into Realm so you can see how that works. And then you can, whenever that feature is available, you'll be able to bring in your existing database and search information into Realm. And you can certainly build it out, but then you might end up with duplicates.
But at this
whenever
point,
do
you
that.
can't put your data.
It's not,
your
yeah,
database.
it's not currently available. And for anybody, did anybody use Collaborate in the room? Because for those of you that use Collaborate, you would have noticed that your database and your searches and all that information migrated over, but that platform was discontinued. So it will be before Stratus is phased out, but
Thanks.
but yeah, but it's not quite there yet, so it's coming soon. So.
That's excellent. Yeah. So, and I love your point there for our newer clients as we're adding them. That wasn't my alarm. I don't have anything else other than these 2 chocolate bars giveaway. Put your new clients into Stratus, right? That I think that's a great way. Yeah.
Quick question. So I have 2 clients that are Host Sigma. Like they're on Host Sigma.
Yeah.
Getting them onto this, is this gonna be easier, like for those that have clients that are using the app? Is this gonna be just as easy to use or
Just as easier to use. The one thing that,
what's the big difference?
okay, the big difference. The question or the comment was, okay, well, I have clients on House Sigma. How do I get them on Realm? That's kind of our okay. We as realtors really don't want them on House Sigma. It's kind of like the necessary evil at the moment because they enjoy it, they like it, they've been using it. Why? Because it has the sold data on it.
Yeah, they're like, look. what it
Why?
is." Like,
Here's the thing though. Why don't we like it? Is because it's another brokerage,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right? If it, whether you're with us at KW or you're currently at another broker's, that's okay. We're all friends here. The catch is though, House Sigma is a licensed brokerage, and your client is now giving them all their information, right? So from a legal standpoint, we have to understand that, right? If we get them on Realm sooner, the better it is for us, the better it is for them, right?
They won't get sold,
They won't get sold data, but if we're doing our job, they already have sold data, right? I don't know, Dina. So I'm just going to repeat so our Zoom friends can hear. Will that ever change? It would have to be a fundamental change to allow that information to be public like that. So the way that companies outside of House Sigma have that information available is you're signing off on some documents as a user, not as a buyer or a client, but as we'll call it as a user, to kind of keep it really vanilla, like really simple, right? But we want as realtors, we want them using our app, right? Yeah. So yeah, and now you won't. Right now you'll use, so my goal here is you won't use House Sigma ever again. You'll use Realm because you actually have more information than House Sigma ever will. The other cool thing here is, well, I don't know if it's cool. The interesting thing here is House Sigma over the last little while has started to do their House Sigma their House Sigma estimate, and it's been way off. Way off. So if you have a client that is kind of set in stone or really excited about the information, you be really clear with them on the information that they're reading, right? We've all heard my story. As a little soapbox here. You've all heard my story before. When there was a house sold on my street, this might have been about I think it was the last boom. We'll call it 2017. House sold on my street for like, went up and it sold to multiple offers. My neighbor, bless his heart, he's 70 some odd years old. He was so excited that the house sold for $1,250,000, right? And I said, John, that's amazing. I got to ask you, where'd you get that information from? And he goes, oh, our neighbor on the corner told me. John knows I'm a realtor. That's why he's talking to me about the home sales. And I said, John, I gotta tell you, the home sold for $1,025,000, right? So we had the wrong information. We didn't know it. And that's what apps, like other apps out there, that's what it can potentially do. Whereas we know that Realm, it's our new Stratus. So it has the information. It's the most accurate information out there, right?
So where do you look for souls?
Excellent question. That's probably a good thing to know, right? We'll get to that, Rick.
Sorry, Austin just asking, and maybe Teresa's might be more of a question for you, why they phased out the collab system and if that's going to happen with Realm again, because mine says we're gonna have to keep learning new stuff, right?
Okay. You want to answer that or I can answer it?
I'll let you answer.
Okay, cool. No way. They're parking their iPhone 4 for this big system, which is so adaptable and has so much capability. And the whole system TRREB is moving to is like, whether you pick Tesla or not, it's like the Tesla. It's the thing to be using, right? They're not good. The other Stratus is going away because they physically and possibly can't make it any better, right? It's stuck at the iPhone 4 level, right? It's tapped out. Yeah. Okay. How do we look up solds? And there's some other information I want to make sure that we cover. How do we look up solds? That's kind of a good thing to do, right? Especially when we start doing our CMAs. I think we can all agree with that. It's actually incredibly easy. So I'm going to scroll up to the top here where I see for sale and available. I'm going to click that. And of course, I don't want to look at available. So I'll uncheck that. And I want to look at unavailable. And all of a sudden, all the solds come up, but sort of the expireds and some of the other stuff. And we can get into more filters. So I only look at solds, and there's the solds. Now this is just, I haven't put a date range in here, right? It's just pulling up everything it possibly can. Who noticed how fast it was? You probably didn't, because now you're getting used to it, right? We'd be waiting on Stratus for this to populate, right? Let's say I am doing a CMA, or I only want to look for the last couple of months. Sold date from, this is going to go from bright red to hardly any red. Okay, we got a few. That's not bad, actually. And I just chose November 1st. It could be anything in there. Dina, I can get very specific, 4-bedroom home. And then, of course, all that populates. And it's just with the click of a button, 4-bedroom home, anything you can think of, it's got filters for, right?
Can we share that information with our clients?
Absolutely. If they are your clients,
If you can email that?
sure. If they are your clients, right? You're educating them. They've signed a BRA with you. They're your clients. You're informing them. You're educating them. I'm saying that for our broker record in the back room. I got you, Jonathan. But that's where all that information is. Really easy to get. Again, we can use the app to get that information. Before we get to the app, let's do stats really briefly, and then we'll circle back to the CMA portion. There's a lot here we gotta get through. Okay, let's just start rolling. So I want to show you that. I want to show you the map layers. Yeah. So I'm gonna remove shapes. I'm gonna change my filters. I'm gonna clear all that, restore to default, and it now all pops back up. But I want to look up some stats. So I'm going to do this a couple of ways so you understand what you're looking at. Again, I didn't put any filters in. I'm just on this big map of Ontario. It's pulling up all the listings. And on the left-hand side where you're seeing those listings, I can click on analytics, but all the stats are going to show up for all of Ontario, right? And if you had to scroll down to Newmarket or York region, it's going to take too long, right? So here's all you need to do. let's just put in municipality of Newmarket. Oops, Newmarket. So two things are going to happen. It's going to zoom me into Newmarket. And now look, it's only showing the stats for Newmarket on the left. Now, what are those stats? I can make this a little bit bigger. How's that? That's better for me because I'm going blind. So I'm looking at listings total for the last 6 months. I can change this to a year, give it a moment to populate. It'll pop up. I want to look at, I can change this too. So I can go average price, sell, I'm skipping a bunch, average price, median days on market, total sales, total listings, all that kind of stuff. What we care about probably is two things, is the median price and solds, right? So I can look at average, I can look up the number of sold homes and it'll change. And you just hover over this, I'm just hovering and it's giving me that number, right? So this is all the new, yeah, Dina. Yes, I was just about to get there. So this is for, yeah. Okay, good reminder. So right now I'm looking at detached. I'm kind of looking at all the homes, but if I only wanted stats on townhomes, for instance, because that'll change this significantly, freehold townhomes in Newmarket, I can most definitely do that. I had to choose, there we go. So I choose freehold and I'm going to choose attached or townhouses. And now it's pulling up just that criteria, right? Which is great. And I can change this from, again, listing total to the medium sale price. We see that, this will be interesting. So we can see what that looks like. So, and this is by the week right now. And our valuation kind of shot up there a little bit at the beginning as compared to the month of December. But this is something I would sit down with my client after I've done the homework. Then I sit down with my client to go through it with them, right?
Normally when we're looking at stats on the TRREB, you have to wait for the first week of the month for the previous month. This is now 1 week. Is everything up to date?
Yeah. So the question, and for our Zoom friends again, on Stratus, we have to wait to the end of the month. And it's usually a couple of days thereafter before all the stats get updated, right? That's still going to be the same. And I would always caution you when you're showing weekly stats, like, hey, this is what sold last week, or it's a Monday, this is what sold, because not everything has always been updated in due time. So I love that we have that information. It's just when you're talking to your clients, just be aware of it. Some of these numbers might change. You're like, well, last week it said 13 homes sold, but now it's only 12, right? So just kind of understand that sometimes it takes a couple of weeks for everything to kind of either go firm or maybe someone backed out of a deal or what have you, right? But
So if you clicked on 1 year
yeah, can totally do that.
and then,
Clicked on 1 year.
so like the monthly average sale price for like every month for that year, can you get that?
It's all right in there as I hover. Okay, we got some treats. I like it. We had some treats. Okay, we've got freezies and ice cream bars because I didn't think it was warm enough outside. Stevie, do you want to help Jason? Yeah. Take them. Don't be polite. Take them. No, just take them. Take them. So
but that's showing more than 12.
So this again, they do it by the week and you can see the date at the top of which it's reporting.
Yeah, so can you change how their vision or not?
No. Yeah. So I went and bought ice cream bars. So I thought it'd be kind of fun, but here's what you got to know. I actually cannot eat ice cream. I was probably 11 years old and I probably had way too many one summer. And I can't even, yeah, can't do it. I can't do it. Oh, just even like just even like this is too close. Yeah. Yeah, Jason, you're a good man. Thank you. Yeah, leave one up here. Take the other one down. Take them downstairs. Have you already done that? The girls downstairs have them? Yeah. Excellent. Okay. Good stuff. Okay. We got 27 minutes, and I just gave sugar to the room of kids, and this is going to be awesome. Sugar to a room of realtors. No, I'm good, Stevie. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Paul does, though. Yeah. All right. Here's something I really want you to watch with all your sugar. I'm going to change this. I'm just going to clear the detach. Sorry, that's up here, the freehold. Just so we have some more data. So I'm looking at all the current listings in Newmarket right now. And I'm going to go back. I'm going to close the more filters. And all the listings on the left come up. Again, to review, if I want to hit the analytics from Newmarket will populate there. And always give it just a moment because it's pulling in a lot of information, especially if I wanted to hit a 10-year. That's a lot of info it's got to pull in, right? Here's the other amazing thing. And I used this in my video the other day when I talked about do $1 listings actually sell the house. And this is where I got the data from. This is golden. Market insights. This is the hidden gem. This is what Stratus doesn't have. And it's so easy to get. This is what's going to help you with your clients and this is where you're going to come across as the expert, right? At our team meeting next week, we're going to talk about how do we go from being a salesperson to being a consultant. This is where this falls into place, okay? And we've got some guest speakers that are going to talk about that. So I got some information on the left here. Average, so for the last, and I know it's small, so maybe I just make it bigger for the moment. For the last 30 days, this is going to give me some information. The ask to sell ratio for Newmarket, the average sale price, the listings to sell ratio. So 49% of the listings sold. And compared to the previous month, it's actually down by 29%. So this just gives that snapshot view of it, right? And this is what I love. This next part, I absolutely love. So just below that is another section. So this section right here on the screen, where it says new listings for my Zoom friends, I can hover over that and it gives me how many new listings came out during that month. Okay. Which is this is longer than the 30 days that we looked up. This is dating back to the last couple of years, you can see. What if I wanted to look up something else? I can right there. And what I always like, I got this too big, sorry. Let's move that up. I want to know total sales. And it's just that easy to pull that information up. Now here's the really cool part is as I move this map around, let me just make this smaller, or add my townhouses to it. So now I'm only looking up townhouses in Newmarket. Look what gets updated on the left-hand side, our stats, our market insights. That is, Teresa, that is fantastic. I love it. As realtors, as educated realtors, this is definitely what's going to set ourselves apart. And you can bring this up with your clients, and you can this is how fast you can look up the total sales. You see, Stratus has this information, but it's very difficult to get. You actually have to go through the market stats, not in the Stratus platform to get. And then you got to pull up the charts to get it, right? And if you're like me and you don't like looking at Excel spreadsheets and everything else, that's what it looks like. This is really easy to get. Yeah, Jen.
Are those printable or email friendly?
No. Currently, the answer is no, but here's what I would do. This is where either you do a screenshot of it, or you're sitting. This is a great reason why you're sitting knee to knee with your clients, right? Or you're on your Zoom call with them. However you're doing that, and you're showing them this. Yeah. it should be updating in real time as you change your criteria. It should be updating.
Just sitting here and touching it, so it's just very, didn't move around, so nothing, but it actually said update, refresh.
Yeah, absolutely. So for our Zoom friends, if I move this around, or if you just kind of let this sit there, get on a call for half an hour, what happens all of a sudden the page wants to refresh on you? It's because it's all that live data that's coming through, right? And this again is something that's really powerful that we didn't have before. Jonathan.
When we do a search and we do anything past 10 years, is there an archive feature, or does this go back to X number of years?
That's a good question. We should have all the same data Stratus does. So if you wanted to go back again 10, 15 plus years for a certain community, it should pull that information. In fact,
On Stratus, click
archive. Yeah, I don't believe you need to. And I pulled up yesterday a house I used to live here in Newmarket, and it had the listing from 23 years ago. Yeah, it had that.
Just add to that.
Yeah.
Whenever you go into the sold date reach that Gary showed earlier in the more filters, you can go back all the way to 1986 for residential. It'll let you go back further, but the date is from 1986 forward for residential and 1989 forward for commercial. And that's the same as what's in Stratus. But you need to put the date to if you want something. When you choose unavailable, it shows you information for the last 2 years. If you want to find anything that is older than 2 years, then you have to set the date range.
That-
You get to that time.
Okay, that's great. I wasn't actually clear on that. So again, to rephrase that, when I'm looking at the sold data, as Jonathan was mentioning, it defaults to the past 2 years for sold data. And if I want to go past that, I got to in a specific date. I can go as far back as 1989.
86.
86 residential. So that's great. We shouldn't need much more information older than that. And if we do, Geo Warehouse typically has that info. Typically, but that's a lot of data that we can pull at our fingertips. Good. Okay, this is great. Okay, we're gonna do heat maps, and then I'm gonna get on the app. I'm gonna show you the app, and then I'm gonna hang out here after 3 o'clock. And I'm gonna give you this permission. You need to go at 3 o'clock. Go. I'm gonna hang out there. I'm gonna keep going at least until 3:20ish. We're good.
Gary, can you explain what we're looking at there? So like the actual stats, so is that just like it says 30 days? So that's like the stat for 1 month?
Yeah.
And what is the +8? Is that we're up from the previous month?
That's exactly it. Yeah.
Okay.
So the question is, what are we looking at? And I'm currently looking at the last running 30 days of new market here. I'm looking at the ask to sell ratio. So this homes for the last 30 days have been selling for 100% of asking price. That's up 3% from the previous 30 days. Next is I'm looking at sales to average price. That average price is $993, which is up 8% from the previous 30 days. Listings to sales ratio is 83%, down 17% from the previous 30 days. And I can change that. We won't get too deep into that area. I can change that up to 180 days if I wanted to. Here's what I want you to do at a later date. I'm not going to get into it now. What I clicked on here was leverage insights to win clients. This is really, really good. And it just creates more data for you and your clients. So this is a sheet through Trinelli, and you can add more insights, more information there. I'm not going to get into this now because that's a whole other 3 hours of market data. Yes, my man, AJ. No. CMAs. Okay. Can we touch on CMAs? Yes. Before we get to the CMAs, let's do this. Let's just do this. Remove shapes. We're flying here. So is it okay, AJ? Is it okay that we do CMAs at 3 o'clock? That's fine. Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Good.
This is being recorded.
This is being recorded. We got this. or at least until I cover just a few elements here. Here's what I'm going to show you is, let's just go to available, kind of reset everything here. Oh, got it. You can look at available and unavailable at the same time. Just, I don't like doing that, but you can do that. It does have that functionality of it. Refine search.
Is there like a cart?
Yeah, there's all that stuff. Oops. I'm going to go back into, I'm just going to zoom in here and I'm going to show you some of the map layers. And then I promise we'll get to the app. This will be really fast. So I'm just zooming in here. Okay, so that's currently a lot of listings in Newmarket. Now, just like any other map, I'm looking on the top left-hand corner of our map. And if I hit this button right here, map layers, I click that. First of all, it's got something called parcel fabric. And what that is, if I zoom in far enough, I'm going to see, for lack of a better term, I'm going to see all the lot lines of everyone's home. And you might be at this listing, where are we? Somewhere on Lorne here. And you might say, your client might say, hey, what's that home across the street? I want more information. All I need to do is actually click on that lot and it gives me the address and the land registry information just like that. And yes, anything I'm doing on here, you can do on here, okay? Which is fabulous. Now, let's just change this a little bit because we talked about, I'm going to turn off, and for those of you that like clicking around and moving really fast, and then all of a sudden what happens to me, sometimes it was a frustration, is if I'm clicking around and I have parcel fabric on, some random lot will pop up. I'm like, oh, I don't want that. It's okay. All you need to do is turn it off. And then that layer is gone, okay? Now, schools. I can click the school catchment, and then click on my map, and it will, in a second here, pop up. And whoops, did I turn it off? I think I just turned it off. Give it a moment. All the blue areas are schools. All the blue balloons are schools. Thanks, Dina. And all you need to do is click on that individual school, and it gives you the catchment of all the children that would go to that, possibly could go to that school. And again, I can do that on the app. If I want to, it gives me the school information here. So this Bogart Public School gives me the address, gives me the school, whether it's a Catholic school or a public school, that type of thing. And I can change it. I can change it to over here, and it'll do the same thing. And maybe this is where you can get creative. Maybe your client only wants homes in that area. I would create a map figure of that area and save it, right? And then all of a sudden they're just getting listings from there. That's the part that's really, really cool. The next piece I'm going to show you on the map layers.
You have to live in that area to go to that school?
Ideally, yeah, that's exactly it. And it'll have the same thing for high schools, Catholic or the public high schools as well. Click on map layers again. We're gonna look at the average sale price and the turnover. And you can see what it does. And this is something, if I move this all around, it's going to do it everywhere. And I don't know if it's big enough here. Of course, the redder the area, the higher the number, right? I can click on this number here. So it gives me the average sale in this area is 1.18 million. And if I click on that, it gives me some more information. So there's 53 sales in that area to generate that number, to generate that data. The other thing too is, am I missing it, or is it somewhere else, Teresa, where I can change the date range?
It should be on the bottom underneath, I think this is like that.
Oh, maybe it is.
Sometimes I find it temperamental. Choose another layer than choose after.
Oh, I see.
I don't know why it does that sometimes, but it's in the growth rate down the bottom.
Oh, there, yeah. 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 So you can manipulate some of the information of how far back you want to go look. So look for that on the bottom of the page, and it'll give you, so this is the growth rate of what and how much it's grown. So in this area, the prices I've actually, you got to look, come down a little bit. Some have gone up compared to 2018. So that's a good way to see how the market's moving in that specific area. So that was, again, map layer. Let me move the zoom bar here. And growth rate. Now, I talked earlier about turnover rate. right? About building farms and prospecting. There it is right here. So this will give you the 1-year turnover rate. And I can change what that is, that date range at the bottom again. I won't do this just now, but here's what I want you to look at. So if I was farming this area here, where my mouse is, it's got a turnover rate of 3.46. And if I click on that, it tells me that there are 53 sales over the last year. Over the last year in that area. So I can either farm there, and maybe there's not a lot of competition. You got to figure out who the competition is as well. But just based on turnover rate, if I look at these darker red areas, like around by Upper Canada Mall that I mentioned, it's almost double at 6.3%, 252 sales. Where would I like to farm? Jonathan, where would you like to farm?
Green area.
The green area. Yeah, you would.
Because it's a new neighborhood.
There you go.
There's not as many agents there.
So we got, actually it brings up a good point. New area, or what he's saying is not enough data as well, right? Especially if they are brand new houses. But use that tool for your information. Yeah, Jen.
Filter question for the school layer filter. Jonathan Chen is saying he's trying to use it. He can't filter out, or he wants to know if I guess you can filter out the different school types. Is there any way to specifically say what type of school you're looking for, or remove school types?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. He's just getting public right now.
If you click on the school rectangle in the very top.
Oh, yes, of course. Yes. That I totally forgot about that. Jonathan, there you go. So Jonathan's question again was, can I change or set the criteria for either public or Catholic, high school, elementary? And at the very top of my map, there's a school button, and you can, there's a school button there, which I can even further filter. That's fabulous. I forgot about that piece.
That I noticed was French immersion.
Yeah,
You
that's
can go
what,
to the board directly.
that's what Jonathan is saying too. So he's saying the Catholic, it's not showing up on his, when he checks it, and then just noting that there's no French immersion.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Or French board.
Yeah. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Yes.
You're just clicking on the map layers, right? Your map changes.
Yeah, I just kind of give it a moment. Okay, maybe we'll look at that later. You just got to give it a moment, and it'll usually wakes up and catches up to us. Okay, thanks, Rick. Okay, good. So that again, map layers is really, really powerful. I love it. Again, if you don't want any layers, just make sure they're all unchecked, meaning there's no black border around them. And then you can just move the map around and not worry about layers popping up. But it's a great tool. It's a great tool.
With the school caches,
Yeah.
So I mean, straight out to a client and say that's
Yeah. And so what we're saying here is, it's got the school map area, and just always confirm with the board, right? Always confirm with the board. And if it pulls up the area, you're usually good to go, but always confirm that with the board. That's right. Yeah. A lot of the school boards will have an address lookup, I think they call it, or something like that. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Let's do the app. Let's just go right to the app. So I'm going to get my phone out, and I'll stop the share on this. And I'll do my phone and just give it a moment to wake up.
Here, just 1 sec.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, just for you guys at the back, your voices are carrying, so it's just a little hard for some people to hear. Mike.
Thanks, Jen. Mike Russo. Okay. So everyone has their app. Yes. Do we all download it and have access to it? Good. Because I think if you looked on my screen time on my phone, it would be up there in the top 5 apps that I use for sure. Absolutely. So I'm waiting for, there we go. Okay. Good. Let's go to Realm. Let's just move this to the top here. A little easier to see. So the first thing that I tend to do, because I want it out of the way, is the little blue check mark right here. You can just pick that up and drag it to the bottom, and it'll remove for you. And this is the same homepage that I have on my laptop. Obviously, it just looks a little different, but same information. They're not holding back on anything. It's got all the same info. See, these are all the recent listings that we've looked at. And if I wanted to look at one, I just click it, click the listing, takes me right into the listing information and all the same info. These schedules are available, the directions, everything that you could possibly need is all right there. You have all the info from the attachments to, I'm trying to get down to it, to the broker remarks. Again, if you hit the map, you've gone too far. That's kind of as I'm scrolling, if I hit the map, I've gone too far for broker remarks. That's where you find that. And what I haven't gone, Teresa, I haven't gone below there and shown this feature. This is, I probably should have. It's got the property history right here without having to look up property history. That's probably really important. I forgot about that. It does have the sold. Yeah, it does have sold. And all I need to do is click on the MLS number. If this one looks like it hasn't sold on the MLS as I read through what's on here, but I can click any one of those MLS listings and it pops up. So it's important you click the actual MLS list number. It'll pop up for you. That's golden. Because how often had we had to open up another Stratus window, start typing the information, and I have you can do that again. Anything I'm doing on the phone or the desktop, you can do it either way, right? That is my favorite. And at the very top, underneath Realm up there, is a back button. So I can go back to the listing that I initially chose. And even farther below that gives us, some of the mortgage, oops, let me slow down. Gives us some of the mortgage information if we wanted to just kind of get a gauge of what the monthly cost would be for our clients. That's built in. Also below that gives me some of the similar listings in the area. And even farther below that gives me some of the neighborhood or the community stats that might be relevant to our clients. All of that information I've just done by standing in front of you, and I could educate any client on that information, whether I'm standing in a downtown Toronto condo or at some farm out in wherever. All of that info is there. If I wanted to add that to a list, I can certainly do that here by clicking the blue button, and I'm going to hit add to list, and I can add it to any one of those lists that my clients want, or I click my list and I got a few things in there that I've already got created. All right here, just by clicking that blue button at the top there again. Now this is cool. So if Jen, who's got their phone open on a listing? Okay, grab any listing, and this is what I want you to do. I want you to click that listing, and I want you to click the blue button, and I want you to click share. I only want one of you to do this. But do along with us this next part. I want you to hit messages, and this is how it's going to appear in text format, but wait for it. At the top, I want somebody to text that to me so everyone can see it. So my number, who's doing it? Mike Russo, you're always there for me, man. 416, you know my number. You've already got it. You don't have it memorized? Okay, put me in there and send it to me. You just did. You're lying. Mike Russo. This is how it comes up, just like this. It comes up. This is Zoom working with us. Nice listing. It comes up with the preview on the phone. Isn't that great? And I don't get that super long link that I have to share with my clients. And when I click it, this is what happens when I click it. Who's branded at the top? Like what we talked about. And then maybe at the very bottom is, maybe I'm going too fast. Oh, it's no longer available, Mike. It's sold. Okay, I think, hang on a second here. I think Steph sent me one. She did. She's amazing. Steph, you rock. So here's one. And it's, again, branded to Steph. She's the agent that sent it to me. It's got all the information that we talked about, right? But client view. This is client view only, right? And then if I go to the bottom, it does have who the information came from, all of that kind of stuff on TRREB, but that's what it looks like. I'm sorry for scrolling fast. I just want to get back to the top. Pictures, it'll have links to virtual tours, everything like that. I can click the blue button on the picture, which should take me to, there we go, to the scroll format. Really, I won't get into all of that, but isn't that great?
At the bottom, second from the right is a little chat bubble.
Sure is.
Have little conversations specific.
Yeah. What should we tell Steph? Get to work.
Put an offer for our podcast.
Yeah. Write me an offer, Steph. Yeah. Steph is on Zoom with us. Yeah. So there's a couple of things what Steph did. She sent it to me just through iMessage, or you could do the same thing through WhatsApp or Messenger on Facebook or whatever Android uses. And this is what it'll appear like. I can if I wanted, if this was my listing or I had permission from the listing agent, I can go put this on social media that way, do all sorts of really cool creative stuff, right? But I just love that it's visually appealing, branded to the agent, you as the agent for the buyer. I think it's fantastic. Okay, great. Thanks, Steph, for doing that. Back to into Realm here. You might say, Gary, this is great, but how do I look stuff up on Realm, on the app store? Yeah, yeah, you are. You're way ahead of us. Okay, that's where I'm going. Yeah. So how do we get the map on Realm? Yes. Yeah. You'd be sending them a list, or you could send. We'll do that in just a second. Okay. So a couple of things that I would do here at the very top, you've got some of the. I don't know if you can see that. Maybe I'll just pull that. Maybe I'll just move it. There we go. Easier to see. Shortcuts. So I got the search where I would type in the MLS number. Let me X out of there. I got all the shortcuts. We didn't really go through this. All the shortcuts to anything I could possibly need on TRREB and their support for us. At the very bottom left-hand corner of the app, it has another search. I'm going to click that. That's going to take me to the map. And here's where I find, and this, please, if this part, stay with me, because this will make or break your experience. Currently, you'll see all the lot lines. And if I move my map around, if I click on something, this pops up. And that's okay. That's way, and what it's doing is pulling in the information for the particular lot. Okay. It's the way the system's built. But all you need to do is go to map layers, uncheck that. And now I don't see that. That will make your experience 1,000 times better. So map layers, and by default, the parcel fabric will be on, and I just uncheck it so it's not highlighted. I hit my X and it goes back to the map, and I can zoom out, zoom in. Well, look how fast it's pulling those listings in, okay? I can do the same thing quickly. I won't go over it, but if I want to see the turnover rate on my phone, same information, right? Same way I did it. So let's just turn that off. Let's say there's a handful of listings up here. Where am I? In Sharon. And I want to click, say, these 3 as an example to Gail, because Gail's a great buyer. She's going to go buy at least one of these 3 tonight with me. So I click onto here, and I don't know if, hopefully you can see it. And on the listing, there's a little checkbox, and I can click that and it puts a check mark in it. So where that is again on the listing, and I'll uncheck it so you can see, oops, sorry. I'll uncheck it. And right beside the address is a little checkbox. I'm going to check it. I'm going to close that listing. I'm going to do it again for the other one. And let's just do it again for the other one. And now, just like in Stratus, we kind of check marked or check marked 3 listings. It could be any. And I'm going to send that. I can send that to a list, or I can actually send it and email it to a client by clicking share or clicking. I need my glasses. Share. There we go. So I can email that, or I can even, as you just saw there in the previous screen, I can delete draft. Hang on a second. I can send that through a text message as well. Really, really functional. Yep, I'll do that all over again. Absolutely. Yeah, so this is unchecked, but I want to send this listing, Michelle, to my client. I make sure it's checked, and those other those other 3 are checked. I'm going to click the top blue box with the arrow, and I can do a number of things there. As you can see, I can add it to my likes. I can add it to a list. I can get directions. So maybe these 3 homes I'm going to show tonight, and I want directions to them. I can click that. It'll give me the directions. Thanks, Mike. I can print it, and sharing it is what's going to send it to my clients. So then, however I choose to share it is up to you. Email, text, what have you. Good. Anything else? It's past 3 o'clock, and I'm okay. If you got to go, go. I won't be that annoyed. Yeah. No, I'm good. But I'll stay because I still want to do the CMA piece. That's a big piece. Sorry, go ahead, Ed.
Can you search by address directly, or I know you can do it on the phone. Search tab and address.
Search tab, address. I need to remember how to do that. You should. Oh, on the phone you can do it. Yeah, of course. On the. We'll flip back to that. I can't remember how to do that right at this moment. If I didn't want to search by the map on the app, I would just simply hit the filters and put in my areas again. Thanks, Laura. I would put in my area there as well. You know, I could choose select community, and again, we'll stick with Stonehaven because it comes up. I hit X and I hit done, and then Stonehaven comes up. I did that really fast. I'm sorry. You want to see that again? We're good? Yeah.
So when you have properties check marked, is there a way to go back and see which ones you checked before you send them?
Not that I know of, but what I would do there is actually create a list. Then you know that there are, because you can't add a property twice to the list. It'll already be there. Yeah. I would save it to a list, a specific list. And you can have as many lists as you want, right? Yeah.
One way that you might be able to look at it is whenever you're looking at the map window, there's a list option that's available at the bottom.
Yes.
It's going to show you all the properties that are centered in the map window right there. And you'll see that right underneath where it has the square, the number of pictures, there's a checkbox. So that if the property is selected on the map window, you'll see it selected in this list of properties right here as well. Depending on how you like looking at things, this might be another option. Or scrolling through whatever's centered on the map window when you're looking at it.
Yeah, that's excellent advice. So again, what Therese was mentioning, if I want to see what homes I've already checkmarked, or I like looking at it differently, I click, I go from map. If I'm in the map, I click list, and it'll list those properties, and I can see what's been checked. That's fabulous. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, the app to me is kind of not that it's self-explanatory, but it is really easy to use once you kind of know some of those tricks to get around and to navigate with it. And again, you have all that same functionality as you do on the desktop. Is there anything on the app that you want covered? And then we'll kind of jump into a CMA conversation. We good? Need a new phone. Okay. I've got this iPhone 4 here. Yeah. 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 Okay. DCMAs. Okay. So you're probably not going to like this conversation, but you're going to love it. Okay. Let's just move this out of the way.
Do you have this on any of your YouTube videos?
I have a lot of the stuff we covered today on the YouTube videos. And you know what I failed to mention is, and I'll send out an email, but I'm going to send you a link. I'm going to send everybody a link. You're very welcome. Send everybody a link that has the page with all my YouTube videos on it, has some extra gifts for you. It has a script that's definitely going to guarantee response from your database. And then it has, we'll call it a cheat sheet, if you will, on a lot of these things that we've talked about today. Okay, so I'll send that out by email afterwards. Okay, CMA. Yes, and a lot of the videos have covered a lot of the stuff that we've done. And the great thing about the video, you just scroll back, do it again, scroll back again. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, CMAs even on Stratus, we've learned how to do them with the tools that have been given to us. And I will tell you, they're not that great, even on Stratus. And until Realm is fully unleashed, it might feel the same. Okay, and the way I'll tell you how I do it, and then I'll show you how I do it. Is that okay? So, and CMAs is a full-on 3-hour conversation at the very least, and we're going to do it in 5 minutes. But listen fast. If anyone has done or has seen the way I've done my CMAs, you'll know that, and I teach this to all of our agents. I do something called, it's coined the double five, but all that really is I'm taking 5 current listings that are currently on the market that are just like your home, Michelle, and 5 homes that have sold that are just like your home, as close as today's date as possible. It's how I get that information. That's what you're kind of after, right? So within Stratus, their CMA that they would produce was, I can get all the information I want, although it never looked pretty, right? And I would create a nice booklet and hardcover book and do it. I can get the same information. I'm going to show you. I can get the same information at a Realm. Okay. And here's how I'm going to do that. So let's just click the search. And again, I'm going to look for 5 homes that are currently on the market, 5 that have recently sold. And let's just pretend that is in new market. So we'll just get into new market here. Perfect. We'll choose this area because there's a handful of listings. It'll make this example a lot easier. So let's just say we have a home that's coming up for sale somewhere here on Strigley, which is just around the corner from us. So we know that we have a number of current listings, which is our current competition, right? We can all agree with that. And I'd want to do much more research into, well, if I got a 4-bedroom home and that home's only 2 bedrooms, what's the difference? I'm not going to get into that part today. But really here's what I'm doing. I'm creating a list. I'm creating 2 lists. A list of homes that have been, that are currently on the market, and I'm creating a list of homes that I've sold. That's really all I'm doing. If you kind of dumb it down. So I'm going to make this even easier. We didn't even talk about it, so it's a good time to talk about it. I'm just going to make a little square over here around that area. And now, as you can see, it's only pulled up that information. Here's what it's done for me, though. While I've done that, while I have you on this thought, I'm going to go to the left-hand side of the screen and hit Market Insights. And it's going to give me the insights. I hope it does, just for this. If I got that right, Teresa? Is it just giving it for that area? Yeah, just giving it to me for this area right in here, which is outstanding. So I'm going to use that data in my presentation, right? So that's one thing that it does for me. And again, play with the number of days that you're looking at, but this is the part. Again, remember, we want to go from salesperson to consultant. This is the consultant side. This is what I want to bring up and show my clients. This is outstanding. And I'm going to just go to my view over here, and don't mind me. I'm just going to grab 5 homes if that's okay. It doesn't, you are going to do much more research than this. And I'm going to save that to a list, and this will give me an option to go to my lists. And if I've already got it in here, I can add to it, or I can just create a new, sorry, let me do that again. So you follow me. I'm going to go to the blue button, the blue arrow, save to add to list, my list, bottom right-hand corner, new list. And we're going to call this maybe the name of the address that you're listing. New, we'll just call this new. And now I could recall that. And I can actually, here's the other cool thing. I can then take that same square, change it, go for my for sale and available, and change that to unavailable. And look at all that. Now, let's remember what Teresa just taught us, right? This is pulling back 2 years worth of stuff, too much information. So what do? We go into our more filters, and we want as close as today's date as possible. Maybe there's sales in December. Well, let's just look first to see if there are. There's only one, that's not enough data. Let's just go back another month. That might not be enough data. There's 3. Always at the end of the year, it's kind of a tough time to do it. We're going to go into October. So now we have enough to pull from, and I would choose still based on closest today's data as possible. And I would look at, to close this window, I just click again on more filters. And this is where I would actually click through them, and you can sort these. And we haven't really talked about that from last update, which will help us with most recent sale. That is not always the case, because sometimes you have an update after a sale or something like that. But now I would choose the 5 that I've got. This again is a very high level view of how I would do it. I'm just randomly grabbing them. Again, you're doing more research than I am. And I'm going to add to list. I'm going to add these 5, and I've already got my list, and I've already got it built. So Serigli new, I added to it. So now I can go into, at the very top, I've got saved, a save button here. I'm going to click that, and that pops up right in here. And I can click the name of the list that I've given it, and those 10 listings should, they're right in there. Now we have our data. Again, this is very high level view, right? And now we have it, and now we can do get some information on it. So we can do a couple of things. And Teresa's probably like, Gary, why haven't you talked about this yet? When I click the dice at the top, I call it the dice, I don't know if it is. There is a function for REALM CMA, and you can click that, and you can create a CMA here. Is it this? What am I missing here? Oh, I have to actually input an address, correct? So I have to input the address of a home that's on Serigli. I'll just use my, let's see, 97. Oh, we have it. Give me an address. I don't know any homes over there. It doesn't matter where it is. How about 100 Booth Drive or Rutledge Avenue? Maybe there isn't one in Newmarket. You're very welcome. Nothing found. Apparently, I can't make up numbers. I'll get you one. This is how we do it. This is how we cheat. I just want you to see this here for a second. Bear with me. You're very welcome. $757 Serigli. We're going to add this in. Oops. 757 Serigli. And this is actually a great tool. Oh, I'm in the wrong spot. Thank you. Oops. That's why it wasn't coming up. So I can create, this is a great tool, not only for your sellers, but for your buyers. Let's say there's a listing, they want to put an offer in on it. So you do a CMA there as well. And I pulled up this listing, I hit create, and now I can add information to this CMA here. And the only thing with this CMA is I can do one of two things. I can print it as a PDF or I can email it to a client. And I'm gonna add comparables. And I'm gonna click the blue, this blue arrow is gonna become your friend. I'm gonna click that. I'm gonna add from a saved list, my list over here. We called that Sir New. I'm gonna hit add, give the system a moment. And all of a sudden we have our comparables that we're gonna use, right? And I can just go through them. I can actually click into them and write some notes if I wanted to by this little pen here. I'm gonna click the contents. It's gonna create some information for me. And we won't go through all of those right now. I can click on appearance. It's again branded to me. And this is what it would look like. I'm gonna hit preview. And this is something that you would sit down with your client and go through with them on how, and there's all the properties in here. And if I, can I view the actual listings? I can't write.
Not from there.
Not from there.
But whenever you're in the actual, if you go into the body of the, into there and you go back to comparables, then if you click on a listing there, it'll bring you to the listing, so you'll be able to see it.
Right. So I could remove them. Yeah, is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking for the delete option.
Yeah. You can remove them there. I'll show you how to do that. So that's the functionality that's going to be getting better as we move on. Okay. What I typically do, there's the two things that I typically do. One or two things, sorry, is one, I'll print this and put it in a nice booklet, right? And print it also with the photos. So you have all that functionality all in here to hit print and print it with the photos. And that's what I'd print all those 10 listings, all with the photos. So when people are flipping through them, they can see them. If you have your computer open with you, you can go through it like this, but it's the same experience that we have right now in Strata. So it's no different. Just know that this has the capability of being so much better from the CMA side. Yeah.
So love everything. It actually resolved a few issues. We've been playing with it for a while.
Awesome.
Yeah. The important item here is, and this will be occurring right now, but will it occur, is your typical CMA have comparable properties. You have provision right there through that presentation to see those, to understand why you're comparing this, not just the location, not the price, the details, which detail the properties.
I'm not following you.
Side by side comparisons. Yeah. They're not gonna go back into true data, right? And they can't go.
No, so that's what I'm saying. This, you can't do that in Stratus either. And Stratus has no more capability of building that out, but Realm does. So that's something that Realm is building out. Absolutely. Yeah. And there is another feature. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There is another additional feature that's provided by another provider that does what you're talking about. However, we're not going to go down that conversation. That's different. That it has cost to it, but just know that that's something. And here's the cool part. Here's the really cool part. I've actually been on Zoom calls with the design team to show them how I do CMAs, right? And they got to see it from a different lens as opposed from a design lens, right? So that now they're getting great impact from as rooms like this and as individuals to say, no, this is what I would love, and this is how I would love to present it. So I've been on those calls, and it's been actually really, really good. Yeah. 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 So here's what I'm hearing out of all of this is, and it's probably very, very beneficial. Dylan, we got to make sure this happens, is how to do a CMA for our clients, and more importantly, how to present it. And we can, I can do that on paper and I can do that on the computer. So we'll figure something out for that, Dylan. Okay, good stuff. We've kept you way longer. Is there anything out here? And that again was a very high level view of CMAs. Is there anything on here that I might have missed or you want to circle back to? Yeah. There will be a point, but do we know that?
I believe that they will have the opportunity to try and test Realm, but that's coming soon. Let's try to announce it once that option's available. I don't know the exact date.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so yeah, if you're currently on Matrix, is there an opportunity to switch to Realm in the future? Yes. There you go. Anything else?
No, actually, I'm sorry, I am in Matrix from beginning of the Matrix. And yesterday when I met Jennifer for the first time, I said to Jennifer that we had invited me to run, but I called the strategist once and I said that, can I use it? And they said, those people, they are using Matrix, they cannot use it unless you go back to old strategy. So I emailed them yesterday. I said that please switch me back to old strategies. And today is activated now.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Well, there you go. Now we know how to do it. So if you're on Matrix, go to Stratus, then we can go to Realm. There, that's amazing. Okay, good stuff. Good. My friends, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Woo.